Okay, so here we are working on the envelope jelly printing part of the travel journal that I'm working on, the envelope travel journal. I can't even talk this morning. Envelope travel journal. What I like about this little journal is that it's all made from envelopes, and the cover and everything is actually envelope. And then, of course, I collaged some more jelly prints and stuff on top of it. But what's nice about it is it has these pockets. So it has pockets, and but it also has page space that you can write on. Now this one is more heavily jelly printed than the one I'm working on for the travel journal. I'm just showing you an example because I was, obviously just doing more jelly printing, and I wanted a lot of texture on the pages and that kind of thing. And then I actually worked back through and did some of the intuitive scripting, did some washi tape, my washi tape that I make. It actually has some jelly prints in them that I had been working on. So I just kind of put a lot of different jelly prints that I was working on in this little book as well, because I wanted to remember these textures. I really, really love these textures. So yeah, so this is what I'm going to make for my travel journal. So I want to just give you guys an example of it if you haven't already seen this before. And this is also, and I'm also going to be covering it in leather. So the whole process will be from start to finish. We're going to take envelopes, which are like these. I started jelly printing some of them so that in this session, it wouldn't be so long with me just doing, because I'm doing 18 envelopes. So gave you guys a bit of a break on that. But I still have a nice little chunk left so that you'll see how I did these. And basically what I did is I chose a light palette so that it kind of gave me that old world kind of feel to the covers, like old walls. It doesn't look like old European walls and stuff. You guys know I like that anyway. And so I've done the front and the backs. So I'm going to continue this on what's left. And you guys can see them. And so I'm working with 4 colors basically. Create this palette. And I'm just kind of going in variations of how I'm doing it. So that's what we're working on. So I'll put these to the side. And then we'll go to printing the rest of these, and I'll show you how I did it. And then after the printing the envelopes, then I'll show you the construction. It's very easy to put together. And then we'll make the cover, the leather cover. And then the final thing we'll do is just kind of put the various things in it, like some tuck cards and some different kinds of pieces that I'm already going to print as well. So for instance, this is just a plain card that I printed in the darker colors. And I probably will use some of my old ephemera and sort of glue on here. And I'll make several of these to put in the journal. So if I want to have a place to create a pocket or what have you for different things, if on a page I want another pocket, something that may not fit necessarily into the envelope part of it, I'll have several of these, and I'll show you how I'm going to make those as well. So it's a whole process here from start to finish, but it's a cool process. So I'm gonna start off with, let me do this. I'll start off with the orange so you guys can see what each of these colors do before I start mixing them, because then what I'll do is start mixing them. So this is the Color Shift Orange Flash. So I'm using Color Shift Orange Flash, which is folk art. I'm using the brushed metal in the brushed gold. I'm using the ice blue in the folk art metallic. These are all folk art. And then I'm using the Blick Payne's Gray. I love this. And these will make really thin, nice, translucent sort of veil. So I don't want a lot of color on here. So I'm really rolling it out, and I'm just getting a very thin veil. Like you can look at this plate and you hardly see that there's anything on it, but it will translate color. So I want these very thin. So if I want to write right on top of the envelope, I can, for that page, I'm able to write right on top of it. I'll be able to use black ink or whatever. We'll be able to see it, coffee there. So there we are. See? That's good. So we'll just keep that process going. So I'll do some more. Again, we're just doing these thin films. Another piece here. Just kind of move it around and put it on various places on the plate. Because it's, it's going to pick up old layers stuff. Even though the plate's pretty clean, there's still remnants of stuff. When you do these thin layers, there'll still be remnants. Yeah, see. So I knew that that was going to be down there. So that's good. So then what I do is I come back with the ice blue. And this is really a nice color. And these are all these dollar, paints that you get from Michael's or Joann's, wherever you get those little craft paints. But the folk art has really come up with some really nice formulations. I'm really liking them. And you get these really nice transparent veils of color with them now. There we are. Look at that. Doesn't it look yummy? Look how gorgeous that is. Just putting that ice blue over really just enhances the color. Yummy. So I'm gonna get this side right here with some that's on here. So I just kind of pick up different places on the plate so that, I get those various levels of color intensity. I don't want it to be all the same. Okay, let's put some more down. So just really roll it out. You don't even, it should be so thin that you basically don't even see it. You just, you just can see, oh, there's just a thin film there. Oh, perfect. Look at that. Great. You see, I'm not pressing it fully across. What I'm doing is just kind of doing it so that it, see how I created this sort of wavy pattern there? Let me get the light is kind of, see this sort of wavy pattern there? It's because I didn't just put it down. I put it down and it just picked up a little bit where it made contact so that it sort of made it a little bit more amorphous. So now, just going to keep on doing this. I'll show you what the gold looks like. You can see in the camera how you can actually see through my plate. So that's how it should be when you're working it. I know some of you guys have been working with this technique, and you'll do it and you'll say, I think I had too much on. Yeah, you should almost not see it at all. Like you should just see like a really thin layer, and it just looks like you can just see right through your plate. Look at that. Oh, that's so rich and yummy. Oh, look at that. This edge. Wow, look at that. I love seeing the variation where you pick it up from different parts of the plate, because there's still a little of that blue down, there's still some of that orange, so you just kind of move it around. And okay, do some more of that. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some more of the blue down because I like how that blue mixes with the gold. So I'm doing it so much that then what happens is my brayer starts lifting up the color. That's the whole idea. Now the other thing that I'll do it on another page and we'll come back to that. When I lay this side down, let's say to grab the blue, then I brayer it on the back too. So that transfers a certain, bit of color. And it creates some different layers also. So that's a good way to get both sides going at the same time and yet get some variation. Oh, that's gorgeous. So look how that blue mixed with some of the gold that was still down there. See? So let me see. I'm gonna get a little bit of this. I'm gonna show you a little bit of this Payne's gray so you can see what each color does. Payne's gray. Oh, didn't mean to do that much. I'm gonna take some of that off and use it in a minute because not that much on there. Let me see. Where do I put this? Oh, I can. There. Okay. Because I want it to be a thin layer. So you can hardly see it. That's what I want. So put it down. And this will just pick up a thin film of that Payne's gray. And that's how I'm getting some of this dark variation, these little dark spots on my plate, because every so many pulls, I'll put that blue down. And so what it'll do is it'll start leaving little residue behind. Let's get some more of that. Okay. I'll get a fresh one of these. This one will be a little darker. See? Look at that. Now watch what will happen when I do the blue on top of it. Makes a really beautiful silvering kind of effect, which I love. Okay. So what I do is I just kind of move back and forth between my lights and my darks. Wow, see that? How yummy that is. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna go back to the orange since I have that blue down there. And I'm gonna start a fresh new envelope and then I'm gonna come back to that one. You'll see how this one looks with the orange with the blue now, because we haven't done that combination yet. Because we started with the orange and then went to the blue and the gold and the Payne's gray. So now we've finished with the darker color. And then what I do is I start working back up to the top colors again and see how pretty that is. And that's how you get that old wall left behind, looks like maybe a bunch of posters or graffiti had been pulled off time and time again. Oh, look at that. See how yummy that is. Love it. Perfect. Get that little corner there, somewhere off of here. Yeah, look at that. So then, see, that's how we kind of get this dark and light combination going on. So we'll put some more orange down. And we still have that, there'll be remnants of that blue still moving around on the plate. Plus it's some left on the brayer. And I'm gonna come back with this one that we had done this on the front. So I'll put this down so we can grab this for the back. These are so much fun to make. First of all, they're so useful. These are envelope journals, and I'm using a pretty decent envelope. This is like invitation envelope that is like 25% cotton. So I mean, you could do this on any kind of envelopes, but you know, you can also just try to get some decent stationery envelopes. I find I use about 18 of these for a book. You can do more or less. So if you just got one, I think one of those packs maybe not have 20 or 25 in them. So you may pay a little bit more for them, but even for 25, it shouldn't be more than maybe $6 or $7. But you'll get better paper for your book. I'm loving that. So let's see where we are. So we have this one. So I need to still do that side. Still have a few more here that have nothing on them. So just kind of like, I want to do a little bit more on that one. This is done. These are good. This is good. Okay, so those are done completely. So I'm gonna come back and I want to do more on this one. So I'm gonna use the orange again. And now I'm gonna do the orange with a little bit of the blue. And this is gonna make like a metallic sort of olive color. So I kind of mix them together right there like that and then spread it out. So let's put that down. And then I'm going to take, I want to get some color on these edges. So what I'm doing is as I'm brayering it, I'm getting some more of that color on the edges. As you can see, it's picked it up. So it looks good. And that just really harmonizes the panes. Great. And at the same time, look at that other side. That's done. Done, done, done. Love it. Sometimes I just push these corners in so I get a little bit more color on them. I sort of see where there's still paint kind of laying on the sides and in the corners. And then I pick it up. And that's where you get all that extra grunge too, because it's normally extra paint like in the corner. See that extra silvery? You see that it picked up, see that? It's kind of hard to see because my light is really reflecting it. So if you go back and grab stuff at the bottom where the paint is still wet, you know, you'll pull up more of that. Okay, so that's done. Let me see. So this was one that I had done that side, remember? So now what I'm going to do, okay, I'm going to do more of the orange with the, now what I also like to do sometime when I want to get a little extra grunge in here, I just do like little dots of this Payne's gray around, just like that. So it's not a lot of color, but it's just like little bits of it because I want to just get little bits of spotted, you know, this Payne's gray spotted places. And then what I'll do is I'll go ahead and put this orange down right away with some of this blue. Make sure I'm still in the frame there. And then when you mix them together, what I like about them is that you get these different sort of, see how I have a clumpy area there? But what I like about it is that it'll be a little thicker there and a little thin there. So when it goes to print, you'll just have this sort of amorphous mark there, which I like. I just really roll it out until I can still see it, but it's not like a big clump of paint. And I'll show you, do that on a full face here so you can see what it looks like. And that's how you get those little areas of color variation. And I can do the same thing on the back. Because when you roll on the back, it does help you to things to go a little faster because you're picking up more color. And, you know, when you come back to do this one, you already got something going. Let's look. Okay, perfect. So see how, let me see how you have that darker blue spot right in there? That's where this went down and didn't disperse as quickly as the orange. The orange took over because it's a little more fluid. So then you go and you just really rub that spot so you get it flat, but it leaves a deeper bit of color there. And I like that. So that's how I do that. And all of it's an attempt to, you guys that know me know it's all an attempt in my world to create old, you know, walls and just old ephemera, just an old grunge look that to me looks authentic. It doesn't look like, you know, you sat here and really tried to manufacture a look. It's very random and I like that. So let's see, do a little bit more of that. I liked just getting a little bit of this around. In fact, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do just a thin layer here. Really get a thin layer out. I'm only kind of putting that blue right there on that part of the plate because I want to just pull a section with some of that blue over it. So let's start. Well, let's see. Let's see what happens here. Oh, perfect. Look at that. It's great. Great, 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 great. Perfect. Okay. So now let's get a little bit more blue. Let's do some gold. We just been doing the orangey gold. Let's do the blue. See, when it's just the blue down there, see how I get more of a, the color will disperse more evenly. So it's just when you mix different, you know, viscosities of paint is when that sort of happens. This is going to give you that nice kind of olivey blue color. There. That's gorgeous. Look how good that looks. That little black spot that was sort of laying there, picked up. This is just perfect. So let's see. Let's go to this gold. Get some of that gold in there. I want a thick layer of that gold right there because I want to kind of put it right in this area, see what happens. Oh yeah, that's nice. I like that. Because I didn't put a whole lot of pressure down here, so it just picked up that little, it's just where the envelope made contact, it just sort of picked it up. And so that's how you get that really sort of just random organic kind of pattern in there, which is nice. Okay, I got a little bit here. I'm not so worried about the flaps because the flaps ultimately get tucked in, but some parts of it show. So I just go ahead and get it on there. But if you know, if you don't get it all the way to the top and all that, it doesn't really matter because it's not gonna, I like that. It's not going to really show. So see, front, back. Okay, I gotta do that. So these are done. So I have 2 whole ones left, and then just this side. So I think I'm going to do that. Put some gold down and do that blue on top of it again. I really like that. So now that I have that down, before I pull it, I'm gonna go right back with this blue, put it on top, and then roll it out. It'll give me a completely different look than when I mix them together. See, I'm keeping it really thin because I don't really want a big buildup of color. Because I want this to be, I can write on it and, you know, do all other kind of travel journaling things on it. Beautiful. Ah, look at that. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Perfect. Okay, so that's done. So, I still have some on here. I think what I'm going to do is just off roll a little bit of this on here. And then go to, let's see if I can get more of this. I'm going to get a nice thin coating of this. Getting my coffee here. I love jelly printing like this. Of course, I could be using stencils and things like that, but I didn't want that. I just want these pages just pretty much just like colored pages so that I don't have too much influencing me when I start using them in my travels, you know, because I want when I'm traveling, I want the things, the new sights and sounds and smells and everything to influence me. So sometimes you have patterns and stuff down there. For me, kind of starts influencing how I may document my trip. Look at that. Looks yummy. So what I like to do is to just kind of keep it. That's why I even try to work on neutral colors. And the only reason why I even have a few, you see, I only have a few pages in here that go dark because every few I just want to get some black down on this plate so that I can keep on having this grunge printing. But let's say you didn't want to use those envelopes. Every time you did them, you could just use them for something else if you didn't want to put them in a book. But I'll probably use these as covers because my covers, I will collage other things on top of it anyway. So plus these will be the flaps that will get stuck in the covers of the, you call it the oh, look how that's picking up from the sides there. Love that. Let's see. Ooh, look at that. Gosh, that looks good. Wow, that really looks like a doesn't look like a what am I trying to say? Sort of like a 3D. Like you can see the values. It almost looks like this is popping off the page at print. I love that. That looks good. Okay. See, I surprised myself. It's all, you know, it's amazing how you can pull prints and use the same combinations over and over again and still end up with something that's quite unusual. Okay, so I think I'm gonna put just some orange down. Just a nice film of orange so that I can finish. I just want to lay it down and grab all that. And then I just have one envelope left. And then I'll show you all 18 of them. So this is how, and of course, if you're not using it, I mean, this journal could be used a lot of different ways. I'm using it for travel, but you could just use it as a junk journal. You know, and so you can do anything if you want to actually do monoprints and stenciling on every page. And you know, you're actually just creating a book as art, like the book is the art. And each page is reflective of a jelly print. Oh, this is good. A jelly print or something. Then, you know, an image or whatever. That looks good. Love it. That. Then you can do it like that. I mean, these books can be used so many different ways. But love it. So I think I just have this one envelope left because these are sitting over here drying, but I think I'll put a little bit something more right there on this one. That's done. Done. That's done. That's done. That's done. Done. And this is done. Okay. So I just have one more envelope and then just the back of this one. So since I have a lot of orange on there, I think I'm going to put this blue down and do a cover, just do a thin layer of this blue. And so I get a nice covering. Just a little bit there, that corner. That's good. I like how that grunge, see how that grunge is going on there? That right there, I love it. Perfect. Wow, that's perfect. So now we'll just do this last one. And I think I'll start off with the gold. We already have a lot of different colors on various parts of this plate. So I think I'm gonna play up to this one side here. On this side where I know I've got a lot of layers laying, I'm gonna grab that first by putting, because I want it on this face, I'm gonna get it to the very end, lay it down so that go ahead and burnish it. Kind of rolling off some of it. I'm off rolling some of it from the edges and then putting it back down. That's how I pick up grunge in different parts of the plate. Well, that's good. That. So I'm gonna get a little bit of this blue and I'm gonna put some of that on it. Get it nice and thin. I think what I'm going to do is, I'm going to just do that same technique where I want to get color on this edge here, and then it'll just fall a little bit, and I'll pick it up and see. Oh, that's lovely. See how where it just made a little bit of contact in different places? It creates that very organic pattern. I love that technique. I love it. And so now I can pick it up on the back here as well. I'll get the reverse of it. I'll try to do it like this. This stuff dries so fast too because it's such thin layers. You don't have to worry about messing up the other side, even though I just pulled that first side. Yep. See? Oh, love it. Oh, look at all that. But see, I got it I got the reverse of it. See how what was left behind did that there? So that's looking good. And I want to see if I can pick up more of this grunge right here. Because now my plate is so wet that a lot of the stuff that's on the edges will start pulling off. Yep, see? So when I'm finishing up, I just try to go and grab as much of those edges as possible. They're laying there because they're ready to go, because they've been worked so much and they're good and wet. So that's how I clean it up. Get some of these places. And that's that. Let's get a little bit that was on there off. There we are. That looks good. Okay, so I'll put this stuff to the side so we can take a look at it all. I'll lay them out. Plate. Okay, so let's look at all the ones that we have made. So these are all the pages that will move to the next. Okay, so these are the ones that we just did. So I'll show you the back and front. This is the back and the front, each one. Love working with these metallics, and I just love working with the with these very, very thin layers like this. You just get some really beautiful effects. That's what I love. It was quite by accident, but that is, I don't know how to redo that again, that's for sure. So back, here's the front, here's the back, and this is the front. Gorgeous. This is back, and this is our front. This is the back. Okay, can you guys see that pretty good? A little closer there. Front. This is the back and the front. So these are the ones that we just did on camera. And then these are the ones I had done before we started because I didn't want it to be twice as long. I figured this was enough to show you the techniques, but I'll just show you these so you can see how well they blend together because I use the same paints. I just did these the day before this video. Beautiful, yeah. The front and the back. I mean, these, you can see these, because when you get close, you can really just see. I mean, the patterns are just incredible, right? Look at that. This is the front, the back. This is the front and the back. And I just use those those 4 paints. The Blick Pains Gray. And I'll put links with the video. And the other 3 are Folk Art Ice Blue. The Flash series, which was Orange Flash. And then the gold is the brush gold and the metallics. And those are all, I mean, that big tube of Blick is like $4. And then these other small ones are anywhere from $1.20 something to $1.99, I think. So you're talking about inexpensive paints, but the Folk Art has really come out with beautiful series of colors. Oh, look at this. So there we are. So this is the whole stack. Now it's going to be, so we've got a nice stack there. So it's going to be ready for us to then go to the next stage. So that's coming up. Alrighty.